You know what's really fascinating? It's that every single time you speak, you're either building certainty or you're casting doubt. I've said before in other videos that life is a fight for territory. That territory is either the territory of certainty or indecision. The first words out of your mouth define how much weight, how much authority that you carry from that moment forward. If you waste those first couple of minutes, you train people to ignore you for the rest of the conversation, or certainly to devalue what you're saying. Let's talk about why most people never recover from a weak opening and what to do instead. Because once rapport is lost, you almost never get it back. See, the moment you walk into a room, I'm going to tell you, your energy goes into the room before you, and your presence is making all kinds of promises. It's sending all kinds of messages, unspoken, but certainly registered in the mind of other people. And your prospect is listening long before you even open your mouth. See, certainty sells faster than skill every single time. I've watched salespeople say all the right things, but collapse under their own doubt. The prospect isn't listening to your words. What they're really doing is unconsciously, in the blink of an eye, they're scanning for confidence. They're scanning to see, is this a person who's an expert? Is this person authority? How does this person see themselves? I mean, if this person doesn't recognize their own authority, why should I? And that confidence and that certainty needs to be present within yourself before you ever start the pitch. We say that, first impressions are worth their weight in gold. First impressions absolutely shape buying decisions. I'm going to suggest that more sales are lost in the first 5 seconds than they are in the last 5 minutes. See, the second you step into the room, the buyer's asking themselves this: is this someone I trust? Why should I listen to this person? They're not asking, is this somebody I like? They're not asking that. They're not asking the know or like person. They're asking, do I trust this person? Why should I be giving this person my most valuable resource, my time? See, rapport doesn't start with being liked. It starts with being believable. And being believable starts with a level of trust that they have in you. But believability is them seeing you as an authority figure. See, you're either bringing grounded certainty or shaking desperation to the conversation. There's no neutral. They decide who you are before you ever explain what it is that you sell or what your value proposition is. They've got to buy you before they ever buy anything else. Professionalism isn't about having a perfect script. It's about showing up like the kind of professional, the kind of person who gets results, who makes things happen, who others feel safe in your presence because they know that they can trust you. They know that you're an authority. They know that you're an expert. They know that you're not wasting their time talking about a dog or your vacation. That's how trust is built. See, in my early days, I once walked into a boardroom thinking that my product knowledge would close a deal. I had it all. I had all the graphs and charts, the stats, the case studies. But I hadn't learned yet was how to carry myself like someone who belonged in the room. I had all the right words and all the right graphs and all the right stats, but all the wrong belief. I still saw myself as that high school dropout, and my prospect didn't buy. Not because I wasn't good, it's because I wasn't grounded. I wasn't grounded in certainty and belief. I didn't think I belonged in that room. I felt lucky to be there. See, that day taught me something. You can't sell anything. You can't sell anything until you sell yourself on yourself. You've got to buy you first. See, prospects don't just hear what you say. They feel how you say it. Do you ever meet somebody and they walk away and you say to a colleague, I just don't get a good vibe from them? What are you saying there? See, feeling is a word that we created to describe the conscious awareness of our and another person's vibration. So when I say, I don't feel good about that person. I don't get a good vibe from that person. What I'm really saying is there's something off about their energy. They feel how you say things. They feel your energy signature. That's why rapport lives in your tonality. It lives in your pacing, the rhythm. It lives in your presence, not just in the words that you say. Your voice and the energy of your voice broadcasts either belief or doubt. Either you're an authority and an expert, or you're not. You can't fake it. The whole fake it till you make it is, it's an idiom we use, but it doesn't hold any weight. You either believe in what you're saying or you leak insecurity. See, your prospect can sense hedging language, hesitation, the same way sharks sense blood in the water. You don't need clever openers. You don't need a funny story. What you need is congruency, authenticity, connection, sincerity, real certainty, real belief. That's what lands and closes deals. Posturing is just a sign of uncertainty within yourself. See, when you can speak with ease of someone who's already earned their trust, not kind of fake familiarity, but emotional ease, that kind of says, I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to serve you. I'd really like to do business with you, but if we don't do business together, I'm going to be fine. I tell people all the time, hey, look, whether you buy into the Martinelli system or not, whether you buy mentoring from me or any of the programs we offer, guess what? The Martinelli family is going to be okay. All right. We're gonna be just fine, whether you buy or not. Now, I'd love to do business with you, but I'm not going to go into convincer mode or begging mode. See, every time you say hello, every greeting, it's a test. When you greet someone, you are either present and authentic, or you're faking your own self-belief. Which one? Which one is it for you? See, most sales are lost in those first 10 seconds, not because of what was said, but because of the energy that was projected. The buyer just didn't feel right. They felt like they were a target that you were trying to hit. They felt like the whole conversation was you were just checking off the things that you needed to say. Now look, before we go any further, I want you to download a free guide that I created for you. It's called the Belief Upgrade Guide. And if you've been stuck in hedging language, hesitation, self-doubt, if you've ever been in the process where you're just overthinking the sale, this is where you can turn that around. See, the guide is going to walk you through 10 identity level shifts that I've used to go from broke and unsure to building 6 multi-million-dollar businesses that have generated over $1 billion in revenue. These aren't just hype statements. I'm not saying that to impress you. I'm saying that to impress upon you that these are really practical internal upgrades that impact how you show up the moment you say hello. If you're ever catching yourself thinking to yourself, I'm just not ready for this. I need more prep. I don't want to be pushy. I don't know if I'm really good enough to go into this room. I don't know if I can hold the room. This guide gives you a better script to tell yourself. One that's actually true. One that's truly tied to your potential. You'll learn how to create momentum when you feel stuck, how to bounce back from a no without collapsing, and how to install the kind of belief that becomes felt by your prospect before you even ever say a word. And it's free. And it's practical. And I'm telling you, it will raise your floor of performance. Now, my team put the link right there in the description. Grab the Belief Upgrade now, and I want you to come right back to the video. See, before your prospect can trust your words, they're judging you. We say, you shouldn't judge people, but we all do, don't we? We judge people by their appearance, by their body language, certainly by their tonalities. Before they trust your presence, they judge your appearance. Sales begins even before you speak, and your look makes that first promise to them. Your clothes, your grooming, your posture, they all say something about you. Do they say that you're an expert? Do they say that you're an authority? If we just look at you with the sound off and we watch the recording of your last 4 or 5 meetings, are you showing up as the expert or are you apologizing for being there? I can tell you this, all we do is broadcast the dominant emotional vibration that we are in. That's all we do. When you hesitate, when you use hedging language, they pull back. And when you walk in with a level of certainty, when you're grounded, when you can step in authority, they lean in. The handshake is the handoff. It's the moment you signal to your prospect, I'm safe, I'm steady, I'm in control. I've got this process is going to go perfectly for you. You're not fumbling, playing the role of somebody. I had an opportunity to have lunch with one of the top authors in the world, John Maxwell. This was back in 2010. And I was pitching John on the opportunity to partner with him, not to get a job, but to build a certification program for coaches and trainers and speakers using John's content. Now, I knew this meeting was either going to be make or break. I knew that John was a very quick decision maker on a DISC profile. He would be the highest D. Really quick decision maker. He's a doer, makes decisions. He's a delegator. Most people who meet John are in awe of John. He's one of the highest paid speakers. He built the largest church in America at one time. He built and was a speaker at Promise Keepers, where they filled stadiums of men, published over 100 books, number 6 all-time seller on Amazon. So when most people meet John, they go, John! And they all show up with a copy of one of his books and ask him to sign it. They ask, can I get a picture with you? They're groupies. I went in there and I rehearsed it. Hey, John, Paul Martinelli. Hey, John. I said his name very quick. Hey, John, Paul Martinelli. Took my time on my name. At a subconscious level, that was different. That was different than anybody. Certainly different than the last 1,000 people he met, where they, John, how nice to meet. I didn't say how nice to meet him. I said, hey, John, Paul Martinelli. Hey, John, Paul Martinelli. I never once asked for a picture. I never once asked to sign my book. I didn't even bring a copy of his book. I held posture and certainty. I wasn't coming there as a fan. I was coming there as an equal to do business with him and to land a partnership. See, you don't need to have all the fancy clothes to look expensive, but you do need to look like someone that they trust with a $100,000 decision. Rapport isn't about being persuasive. It's about being predictable. Trust me, people like predictable. That's what makes people feel safe. That's what makes people trust you, is that there's going to be a predictable outcome. You're not a loose cannon. People don't buy when they feel seen. They buy when they feel safe, when they feel heard. People can't hear until they've been heard. And safety means that they're not feeling rushed. They're not feeling judged. They're not feeling steered or played or manipulated. Instead, you're holding space. You're not forcing. You're not telling. You're asking questions. See, rapport gets broken the second you start performing and putting on an act that isn't genuine, that's not authentic. You don't have to be impressive, but you have to be real. You have to be calm. You have to create certainty. Sales isn't about, similarity and commonality. It's not about trying to find, where can I find common ground? It's about being someone that they can count on to know more about this area than anybody else, to know what is going to be in their best interest. What's the best solution, the best decision? Don't try to be like them. Be someone they trust. You're not their friend. You're their guide. I had an opportunity one time to call on a doctor's office. I was supposed to meet with the office manager. She got sick that day. I meet with the doctor. Rarely did I ever get to meet with the doctor when I was in my commercial cleaning business. This time I did. I walked into the doctor's office. He took me back and I saw he had a big certificate on his wall, graduate, doctorate degree in medicine from the University of Pittsburgh. And guess what I did? Coming from Pittsburgh, I went, oh, you're from Pittsburgh, I'm from Pittsburgh. We spent the next 30 minutes talking about the Steelers and the Pirates and, the Penguins, and talking about Permane Brothers sandwiches and the incline. We talked all about Pittsburgh. We yacked it up. We had great rapport. We were best buddies. When we left, he slapped me on the back and said, send me over some information. Get us over your proposal. And I did. And I never heard from them again. 2 weeks later, as I was cleaning an office in that same park, sure enough, I saw a different cleaning company go in and clean his office. See, he bought from somebody who went in there and talked about why they were there, about the cleanliness of their office, about killing the germs that make people sick, about the certainty that the alarm code, would be entered correctly and the door would be locked at night. I went in there and yacked it up. See, rapport is what allows you to lead them through the conversation, not on commonality, but on authority, about your expertise, breaking through all the resistance. If they can feel that you're more focused on solving their problem than you are on, connection and commonality, they're going to let you lead. See, the most dangerous mindset in sales is that I hope they like me. When you're grounded in a belief of certainty, your job isn't to fit in, it's to lead. Remember, it's time to stop leaning back and start leading forward. When you posture, they pull away. When you lead, they lean in. You're not just speaking words, you're transferring the emotion of certainty and belief. That happens through intentionality. And if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't value you, if you just look at it as like, I'm just the cleaning guy, why should they believe in you? Why should they see you as an authority? Why should they respect you? Why should they buy your offer? See, at the end of the day, your self-image, your self-belief, the self-image and self-belief creates a self-concept. And that self-concept controls your closing ratio. You never outperform your own self-image. If you want higher commissions, you need to upgrade your identity first. When you act like someone who belongs in the room starts to believe it too. Now look, if you don't establish rapport in those first 2 minutes, you're playing catch up the entire time. Sales isn't about tricks. It's about truth. And the truth is, certainty sells. So the next time you walk into the room or pick up the phone, ask yourself, am I creating certainty or am I casting doubt? You're either the originator and authority or you're the subject and the buyer. If you're the originator in this dynamic relationship, then you need to lead and you need to act like it. Now look, if you haven't downloaded the Belief Upgrade Guide, go get it right now. This isn't fluff. It's foundational belief work that separates the ones who dabble in sales from the ones who dominate. There's a big difference between a true pro and somebody who's an amateur, somebody who does it as a hobby, somebody who does it on the side, somebody who's casual about what they do. You know what the difference is? It's standards. It's standards. And standards are a direct correlation to what it is that you believe about yourself. Go download this guide now. And then I want you to come back and I want you to watch the next video. The number one closing line you will ever use. See, once you've built rapport, once you've established certainty in those first few minutes, you've earned the right to ask for the sale. And I'll show you how to do it without pressure and without resistance. Just one line, delivered with confidence, certainty, and calmness. That's all it takes. I'll see you in that video.